Grand Theft Auto 6's physics will be the most realistic physics we've ever seen in a video game ever. Now, if you watch my video on the AI of Grand Theft Auto 6, you know just how crazy and nutty all this stuff gets. And yes, the artificial intelligence enhancements are absolutely insane, but will the physics systems in Grand Theft Auto 6 live up to that same bold scale? You know what I'm saying? Will it live up to that? And while Rockstar Games has been doing a bunch of stuff with physics in the past, they are going to go bigger and better than ever before. We're talking groundbreaking systems that will make this the most physically realistic open world game ever created. So after extensive research and after staying up way too long, multiple nights in a row, looking at leaked footage, technical patents, and industry reports, I have put together this video about the scope of Rockstar's physics innovations for Grand Theft Auto 6, and I can tell you it is nothing short of extraordinary. So at the heart of Grand Theft Auto 6's physics breakthrough is the new Rage 9 engine. You heard me talk about it in the AI video, and it's a huge leap from its predecessors. The latest iteration brings revolutionary improvements across multiple areas. Game physics with water physically simulated in real time and enhanced vehicle deformations, more realistic time management systems, superior rendering quality, including advanced texture and volumetric lighting, and dramatically improved artificial intelligence for NPCs and police interactions. The graphics gap between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 6 will be greater than the difference between Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Let that sink in. In fact, one of you guys told me that, and I looked that up and found that online. So yeah, you were right. This represents the most significant technological advancement in Rockstar's history, with Rage 9 featuring physically simulated lighting for the first time in the Grand Theft Auto series, made possible through physics-based rendering. So let's talk about these $300 million water physics. Perhaps the most ambitious physics system in Grand Theft Auto 6 is its revolutionary water technology. And duh, it takes place in Florida or Leonida, right? There's a lot of water, different types of water. There's ocean water, there's going to be rivers, there's going to be lakes, there's going to be swamps. Well, Rockstar has reportedly allocated between $200 to $300 million specifically for water physics development, with a dedicated team of 20 engineers from the Rage Technology Group working exclusively on this system. These guys know all things water. So unlike traditional games that use mesh-based water systems for performance efficiency, Grand Theft Auto 6 introduces real-time physically simulated water. Now, how are they doing this? Well, if you watched my video on the artificial intelligence of NPCs in Grand Theft Auto 6, you know that Rockstar is using AI to basically make the most efficient systems possible to handle this for processing power. I mean, this thing's got to run on a PS5, so it's going to have to, which that is a whole nother video, because honestly, if you know what that means, you know how big of a freaking deal that's going to be for all video games in the future. Basically, games have kind of hit a ceiling in what they can do. And yes, we've maxed out what we can do with graphics, but now it's time to explore what we can do with the processor. Well, artificial intelligence has come up with all of these efficient systems to make that just infinitely better. But anyways, that's another video. I think I just gave myself a new video idea. Let's talk more about this $300 million water. This technology has existed before, okay? So it's been used in film and in 3D applications for years, but it's never been achievable in real time, like in video games, until now. This system calculates water behavior dynamically, including high and low tides, realistic wave physics, and even bird interactions that create authentic water splashing effects. The ocean is going to play a crucial role in Grand Theft Auto 6's universe, obviously, with new activities like surfing potentially becoming available. Water is going to respond realistically to environmental factors like wind, helicopter downwash, and vehicle interactions, creating an unprecedented level of aquatic realism. Ooh. You like that? Aquatic realism? I should patent that. Aquatic realism coming May 26, 2026. But you know, it's not all just about $300 million water, which I think is really impressive. There's also advanced vehicle physics. Duh, right? But just how realistic we talking? Well, in my previous videos, I saw how divisive it was. Some people prefer Grand Theft Auto 4's more realistic approach to driving, and other people like Grand Theft Auto 5, and I'm not going to beat up on it any more than I already have, but it's basically an arcade driving game. But anyways, I will say that for some people, Grand Theft Auto 4's realistic and super giga chad amazing incredible driving can maybe feel a little bit cumbersome. You know, maybe. And in Grand Theft Auto 5's arcade style mechanics, they could feel too cartoony and boring and make everything drive exactly the same. Well, this new system that is coming in Grand Theft Auto 6 features meticulously calibrated body roll where weight transitions fluidly during cornering, compressing outer suspension while subtly lifting the inner side. If you know anything about cars, this is very similar to how it works in the real world, which is cool because it's going to have cars handled the way they do around sharp turns and stuff like that in real life without the overly emphasized suspension characteristics that made Grand Theft Auto 4's feel a little like a boat to some people. To some people, not me, I love it. For the first time in a Rockstar title, tires visibly deform under pressure. Sharp turns and acceleration reveal tire compression as they contact the road, creating authentic grip simulation. Independent suspension movement means wheels operate independently when traversing through rough terrain. So this is going to give the impression of multi-link suspension systems rather than rigid models. The damage modeling has been completely overhauled, thank God, with advanced deformation systems. So far, the best Grand Theft Auto for deformation systems, in my opinion, has been Grand Theft Auto 4, and actually, I don't even think that's opinion, that's just a straight up fact. Grand Theft Auto 5 did dumb it down a lot, but this is going to blow anything we've ever seen out of the water. This is going to blow away even Grand Theft Auto 4, which I'll glaze all day for eternity. So expect absolutely ridiculous levels of deformation with vehicles. Maybe even better than BeamNG, we'll see. Flip vehicles are also going to be able to show leaking fluid from underneath, so like indicating simulated oil and fuel reservoirs. Wheels are going to be able to bend at various angles, demonstrating independent damage to both suspension and axles. And this new physics system is going to use significant increase in polygon count compared to Grand Theft Auto 5. So this is going to enable, of course, more precise deformations and realistic accident representation. But let's get into those sweet, sexy Euphoria physics. One of the most anticipated returns in Grand Theft Auto 6 is the enhanced Euphoria physics system. This revolutionary animation technology, first introduced in Grand Theft Auto 4, creates unscripted character reactions where NPCs grab walls, stumble when shot, and collapse unpredictably. While Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 used more scripted animations, Grand Theft Auto 6 appears to bring back dynamic physics-driven behavior in an even more advanced form. Thank God, because that was so freaking cool to see in Grand Theft Auto 4. But as one commenter pointed out in one of my previous videos, it also made certain things kind of look goofy sometimes. Well, now in this game, with basically the new context pool and that these systems are going to be able to draw from, you're going to have reactions that not only look realistic, like, they would be if they were predefined with animations, but you're going to have them be dynamic and interesting like they were in Grand Theft Auto 4. Also, Take-Two now completely owns the Euphoria engine through their acquisition of Zynga, I think that's how you say it, which is great because that's going to enable unlimited development of this technology. Now let's talk about those cloth and fluid physics. Grand Theft Auto 6 introduces revolutionary cloth physics systems that simulate fabric behavior with extraordinary realism. The game features complex hair physics simulations, body part movement with realistic deformation, and clothing that responds dynamically to environmental factors like wind and character movement. The fluid physics system represents another breakthrough, handling everything from sweat and blood to tears and raindrops. This system uses 2D simulation with 3D visualization. Man, I can't talk tonight. 3D visualization. Calculating fluid movement based on gravity, surface properties, and animation data. The technology accounts for multiple dynamic properties, including wind effects, liftoff where fluids drop naturally, roll-off where fluids move to adjacent areas, evaporation even, and production where fluids are emitted and begin flowing. So if you want to walk around as shirtless Jason, you can get to know him down to his pores, which is, you do you, man. One commenter, though, asked me about destructible environments, so I did want to kind of look at that and touch on this a little bit. So Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature the most advanced destructible environment system in the franchise's history. Now, we're not going to have skyscrapers tumbling and falling into each other or anything like that, but according to insider reports, approximately 40% of the buildings will be enterable, while 60% of the structures can be destroyed to varying degrees. I don't know what that really means, but it sounds like the system's going to go a little bit further beyond window breaking. So there's going to be some destructible walls, there's going to be interiors that can be shot out, roofs can be destroyed and bent depending on what's occurring. Now this stuff is very processor heavy, and a lot of the stuff Grand Theft Auto 6 is doing is already very processor heavy. So I would assume if they're making cuts anywhere right now to make sure the other things flow great, it's going to be from here. But the destruction physics is going to ensure that debris scatters realistically throughout the map, with every object having a physical presence. So roads can be damaged by rockets, and the environments are going to retain lasting damage from player actions. So basically longer timers on the decals. And like I said, it's not going to offer complete destruction like some specialized games. I mean, your game really has to be completely focused around that in order for that to be what's going to happen. But this system is going to provide significant environmental impact without compromising the core gameplay experience. How about that weather though? The weather system in Grand Theft Auto 6 represents a massive leap forward in environmental physics. The dynamic weather affects not only visuals, but actual gameplay mechanics, with storms and hurricanes feeling genuinely impactful. Wind moves poles and road signs, and can cause NPCs to even lose their balance and seek shelter. And it's going to directly affect vehicle vehicle handling. This system includes realistic storm physics where NPCs rush for cover, they'll use umbrellas during rain like they did in Grand Theft Auto 4, and they'll change their routines based on temperature and weather conditions. Traffic patterns change during bad weather, puddles form dynamically, and extreme weather events like hurricanes can knock down trees and buildings, adding layers of unpredictability and strategy to gameplay. Oh boy, I can't wait for that. You know, there's probably not going to be like tornadoes, but someone's going to make a tornado mod eventually, and oh man, it's going to be crazy to see, especially if they do retain a lot of that destructible environment stuff. Although I'm sure if they're trimming fat anywhere, they're going to probably be trimming it from there. That's just what I think though. There's nothing that says that anywhere, at least nothing that I found. But what about character animations? So Grand Theft Auto 6's character animation system is going to use procedural motion technology that breaks movement into reusable building blocks. We've heard me talk about this building block stuff in my previous video. Instead of relying on massive animation libraries, the system dynamically assembles character behavior in real time. So a pedestrian might bend over their phone trying to shield it from the rain, and maybe they were shot so they're limping while still doing all of that. And you can see how that kind of paints a picture of what this person would be doing. That's a seamless combination of multiple animation elements. In this case, limp animation plus item holding plus weather reactive movement. And you know, in a lot of games, when you do stuff, no matter how realistic the animations look, if you do anything to trigger an NPC out of that animation, it can be jarring because they'll just snap to it. Well, now you're going to have these different states kind of flow in and out of what the NPC is doing. And so you're going to have very fluid reactions and movements, like you see in real life with how the human brain processes information. So these AI systems enable NPCs to exhibit incredibly lifelike behaviors with complex daily routines that go beyond simple patterns. NPCs react to player actions with nuanced memory systems, and this is going to encourage players to consider their impact on the game world. Basically, FAFO, the game, which everyone loves to say that these days. Sorry, I'm really tired. I record these at like 2 in the morning. What do you want from me? But now let's talk about lighting in visual physics. So Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the first Grand Theft Auto game to feature physically simulated lighting. Using physics-based rendering materials, surfaces exhibit realistic optical characteristics, including proper reflection and roughness, which is dope. The lighting system utilizes ray tracing and ray trace global illumination, creating natural-looking shadows and reflections that bounce realistically off surfaces. The visual improvements extend to incredibly detailed environmental effects. Individual blades of grass, for example, are modeled separately. Beer forms realistic bubbles and foam. Sweat drips and glistens on character bodies, and car mirrors show detailed reflections with light passing through the glass to produce accurate refractions. These minute details combine to create an unprecedented level of photorealism. And I remember when I found this part, I just can't wrap my mind around how a PS5 is going to run this without exploding, or how it's even going to run it at 30 frames per second if I'm being real. Because yeah, games, they look pretty. They're beautiful these days. That's your graphics processing power. That's your GPU. All of this stuff is super CPU intensive, man. So whatever they've been coming up with their artificial intelligence to make things more efficient on the processing side is astounding, to say the least, because this stuff sounds too good to be true. But this is Rockstar Games, so if it sounds too good to be true, it is, but they're going to do it anyway. So what's going to make Grand Theft Auto 6's physics truly revolutionary is not really any single one of these systems, although they're absolutely mind-blowing, but imagine all of this crap working together in a cohesive, realistic experience. The combination of advanced water simulation, enhanced vehicle dynamics, returning Euphoria physics that are dialed up to 11 and similar to Grand Theft Auto 4's, destructible to some extent environments, dynamic weather, and procedural generation creates a level of physical realism never seen before in a video game. Not ever. Guys, we're living in biblical times. I'm telling you, when it comes to video games, I don't know how a PS5 is going to run this. Is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to shift with a box and you just press the on button and boom, Grand Theft Auto 6 turns on? I don't know how anything could run this short of a really expensive computer. So I don't know. But anyways, what do you think? If they're going to trim the fat from any of these areas, where do you think they're going to trim it? Do you think they'll trim it from the destructible environments like I do? Because this processing power just sounds like way too much in my opinion. But anyways, guys, my name's Dandy Andy. I'm really tired. I've put a lot into this video in the last one. So at the very least, could you please leave me a like? I'm going to hold out my tin cup here and ask for one. And if you want more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be covering Grand Theft Auto 6 for a while and eventually pivoting to other stuff, but maybe not. Maybe this is a Rockstar Games channel now. I don't know. But if you can tolerate me, subscribe, join along for the ride. I'd love to have you. With that out of the way, here are 2 more Grand Theft Auto 6 videos in case you haven't seen them. I am exhausted, so I'm going to get home and feed Joe and go to bed. So have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there. Tell me how excited you are for Grand Theft Auto 6 in the comments, and stay alive long enough to see Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm rambling. Peace.